prayer, Father. Tonight, I am not coming to you with eloquent words. I am not coming with polished prayers. I am not coming with perfect faith. I am coming as I am, tired, wounded, searching, hoping, believing, because sometimes life has a way of exhausting the soul, not because we do not trust you, not because we do not love you, but because the battles have lasted longer than we expected. The storms have been louder than we imagined. The waiting has been heavier than we prepared for. And somewhere along the journey, many of us have become weary of trying, weary of hoping, weary of carrying burdens that never seem to get lighter, weary of praying the same prayers, weary of fighting the same battles, weary of standing in faith while circumstances continue to challenge everything we believe. Father, you know what it feels like to be misunderstood. You know what it feels like to be rejected. You know what it feels like to walk through suffering. And because you know, I ask you to meet every weary soul listening to this prayer. Meet the person who is smiling on the outside but breaking on the inside. Meet the person who has become an expert at hiding their pain. Meet the person who feels invisible, the one who feels forgotten, the one who wonders if their prayers are still reaching heaven. Lord, let your presence fill the spaces that loneliness has occupied. Let your peace enter the rooms where anxiety has been living. Let your light shine into places where darkness has been whispering lies, because some of us have listened to fear for too long. Fear has told us that we are not enough. Fear has told us that we have missed our opportunity. Fear has told us that our best days are behind us. Fear has told us that things will never change. But tonight, we silence every voice that contradicts your promises. We reject every lie that has tried to redefine our identity. We reject every thought that says we are abandoned because we belong to you, because we are known by you, because we are loved by you. Father, there are dreams buried beneath disappointment. There are gifts buried beneath insecurity. There are callings buried beneath fear. And tonight, I ask you to awaken them again. Breathe upon the things that have gone silent. Breathe upon the hopes we stopped talking about. Breathe upon the visions we stopped pursuing. Breathe upon the faith that has grown weak through waiting. For you are still the God who revives. You are still the God who restores. You are still the God who speaks life where death has tried to settle. Lord, I pray for the person who feels stuck, the one who feels like life has stopped moving, the one who feels trapped between where they are and where they want to be. Give them strength, give them wisdom, give them endurance. Help them understand that delays are not always denials. Help them understand that preparation often happens in hidden places. Help them understand that roots grow in darkness before trees rise in the sunlight. Teach us to trust what you are doing behind the scenes. Teach us to trust what we cannot yet see. Teach us to trust you when the evidence has not arrived, because faith does not grow when everything is easy. Faith grows when we continue believing despite uncertainty. Father, some people listening have lost something precious, a relationship, an opportunity, a dream, a season they can never get back, and grief has become a constant companion. But Lord, step into their sorrow, step into their heartbreak, step into their questions, and remind them that endings are not always destruction. Sometimes endings are preparation, sometimes endings are redirection, sometimes endings are the beginning of a chapter we never expected. Lord, teach us not to become prisoners of the past. Teach us not to build our homes inside old disappointments. Teach us not to spend our future mourning what you have already asked us to release, because you are still moving, still working, still writing, still opening doors, still making ways, still creating miracles in places we have stopped looking. Tonight, I surrender my timeline. I surrender my expectations. I surrender my need to understand everything. I surrender the pressure of trying to control outcomes that belong in your hands, because you are God and I am not. You see the entire picture. I only see a single page. You see tomorrow. I only see today. You see purpose hidden inside pain. I only see the pain. So I choose trust, not because I have every answer, but because I know the one who does. Father, if there is pride within me, humble me. If there is fear within me, strengthen me. If there is bitterness within me, heal me. If there is unbelief within me, teach me to trust again. Create within me a heart that remains faithful even when circumstances are difficult. Create within me a spirit that refuses to quit. Create within me a confidence that is rooted in your promises and not my emotions. And Lord, as this prayer continues, as your presence grows stronger, as the silence becomes sacred, there is something deeper you want to reveal. There is something hidden you want to uncover. There is a conversation you have been trying to have with the weary soul, a truth that fear has been trying to drown out, a revelation waiting on the other side of surrender. And tonight, standing in this holy moment, with every burden slowly leaving my shoulders, with every wall slowly falling apart, with every wound beginning to heal, I sense that you are preparing to speak, not through the noise, not through the crowd, not through the opinions of people, but directly to the deepest part of the heart. And as I become still before you, as I quiet every distraction, as I lean closer to your voice, I hear the beginning of something that is about to change everything. In the stillness, after the tears, after the questions, after the exhaustion, there came a voice. Not a voice of condemnation, not a voice of accusation, not a voice reminding me of my failures, but a voice filled with mercy, a voice filled with love, a voice filled with authority. And in the depths of my spirit, I heard these words, "My child, why are you carrying what I never asked you to carry?" And suddenly, the weight I had been dragging for months became visible. The pressure to be perfect, the pressure to have all the answers, the pressure to make everyone happy, the pressure to prove myself, the pressure to become what other people expected me to be. Lord, how many times have we exhausted ourselves trying to earn what you freely give? How many times have we chased approval while forgetting we are already accepted by you? How many times have we lived as servants of fear instead of children of God? Father, tonight, break every false identity. Break every label that was never assigned by heaven. Break every lie spoken by people who did not understand our purpose. Break every prison built by insecurity. Break every chain built by comparison, because comparison has stolen enough joy. Comparison has stolen enough peace. Comparison has stolen enough confidence. Teach us to stop measuring our journey against someone else's story. Teach us to stop envying blessings we know nothing about. Teach us to stop questioning our value because another person's season looks different from ours. Lord, you created us with intention. You created us with purpose. You created us with destiny. Nothing about our existence is accidental. Nothing about our story is random. Nothing about our journey has escaped your attention. You saw us before we saw ourselves. You knew us before anyone knew our name. You called us before we understood our calling. And because of that, we reject every voice that says we are insignificant. We reject every voice that says we have no purpose. We reject every voice that says our lives do not matter, because the Creator does not create mistakes. The author does not write meaningless stories. The potter does not shape vessels without purpose. Father, there are battles happening inside people that nobody can see. Battles of identity, battles of confidence, battles of worth, battles of believing they are enough. Tonight, step into those battles, shine your light into those dark places. Remind every listener that their value was never determined by their failures. Their value was never determined by their income. Their value was never determined by rejection. Their value was never determined by public opinion. Their value was established by the God who created them. And what God establishes, no person can erase, Lord. Some have been waiting for a sign. Others have been waiting for a breakthrough. Some have been waiting for restoration. Others have been waiting for healing. And the waiting has become difficult. The waiting has become painful. The waiting has become lonely. But Father, teach us that waiting is not wasted. Teach us that hidden seasons have purpose. Teach us that silence does not mean abandonment, because even seeds grow in hidden places. Even roots develop in darkness. Even preparation often happens where nobody is watching, and perhaps the very season we have been trying to escape is the season you are using to prepare us. Perhaps the delay has been building endurance. Perhaps the silence has been building trust. Perhaps the uncertainty has been building faith. And perhaps what feels like a setback is actually divine preparation, Lord. Open our eyes. Help us see beyond our emotions. Help us see beyond temporary struggles. Help us see beyond present circumstances, because there is more happening than we realize. There are blessings moving toward us. There are prayers being answered. There are doors being prepared. There are divine appointments being arranged. Even now, while we sleep, while we work, while we wait, you are moving, you are arranging, you are preparing, you are working. Father, there are people listening who have almost given up, people who have prayed until they had no words left, people who have cried until they had no tears left, people who have stood in faith until their strength began to fail. Wrap them in your presence right now. Let them feel heaven's comfort. Let them feel heaven's peace. Let them know they are not forgotten. Let them know they are not abandoned. Let them know that you are closer than they think. Lord, when the enemy whispers defeat, teach us to speak faith. When fear predicts failure, teach us to declare your promises. When discouragement tries to settle into our hearts, teach us to remember your faithfulness, because you have brought us through before. You have carried us before. You have protected us before. And the same God who sustained us yesterday will sustain us tomorrow. The same God who opened doors before can open doors again. The same God who healed before can heal again. The same God who restored before can restore again. Father, I sense that chains are breaking, not physical chains, but invisible chains. Chains of fear, chains of shame, chains of regret, chains of self-doubt, chains that have followed people for years. Tonight, let those chains fall, let freedom rise, let courage rise, let hope rise, let faith rise, let purpose rise. And as your people begin to stand again, as confidence begins to return, as strength begins to awaken, as vision begins to clear, there is another truth you are preparing to reveal, a truth about destiny, a truth about calling, a truth about the future you have prepared. And as this prayer continues, as hearts become open, as faith becomes stronger, as your presence fills every room, I sense that heaven is preparing to speak again. Not about where we have been, but about where we are going. Not about our wounds, but about our purpose. Not about our past, but about our destiny. And the next words from your heart will change the way we see our future forever. And then the voice spoke again, not with anger, not with pressure, not with demands, but with the confidence of a father who knows exactly who his child is. And deep within my spirit, I heard these words: "My child, you have spent too much time looking at your wounds. Now it is time to look at your purpose." And suddenly, everything became still. The disappointments that once felt so large became smaller. The fears that once seemed powerful lost their voice. The failures that once defined me lost their authority. Because in the presence of God, perspective changes. And for the first time in a long time, I began to see my life differently. Father, how many times have we mistaken a chapter for the entire story? How many times have we assumed the struggle was the ending? How many times have we allowed temporary pain to convince us that permanent defeat was our destiny? But you remind us tonight, the story is not over. The journey is not finished. The dream is not dead. The purpose is still alive. Even now, especially now, Lord, you are the God who calls ordinary people into extraordinary assignments. You called shepherds, you called fishermen, you called the overlooked, you called the forgotten, you called the unlikely. And perhaps that is why you are calling some of us. Not because we are the strongest, not because we are the smartest, not because we are the most qualified, but because your strength is revealed through surrendered hearts. Father, there are gifts within us that have not yet been discovered. There are abilities within us that fear has kept hidden. There are callings within us that doubt has tried to silence. Tonight, awaken them. Awaken courage. Awaken vision. Awaken confidence. Awaken purpose. Let every person listening understand that they were born for more than survival, more than routine, more than fear, more than merely existing. They were created to shine, created to serve, created to influence, created to leave a mark upon the earth. Lord, give us the courage to step into what you have called us to become, because purpose always requires faith. Purpose always requires obedience. Purpose always requires movement. And too often we have waited for certainty when you were asking for trust. Too often we have waited for guarantees when you were asking for faith. Too often we have waited for perfect conditions when you were asking us to take the first step. Tonight, we take that step. Even if our knees shake, even if our hands tremble, even if we cannot see the entire road ahead, because we know the one who leads us. Father, I pray for divine clarity. Let confusion be broken, let uncertainty be broken, let fear be broken, let hesitation be broken, and let purpose become clear. Open doors that align with destiny, close doors that lead to distraction, remove relationships that pull people away from their calling. Send relationships that strengthen their faith, send wisdom for every decision, send discernment for every opportunity, send courage for every challenge. Some have been praying for breakthrough, but tonight I ask for transformation, because breakthrough changes circumstances. Transformation changes lives. Transform our thinking, transform our hearts, transform our priorities, transform our character. Make us into people who can carry the blessings we are praying for. Make us into people who can handle the opportunities you are preparing. Make us into people who reflect your heart. Father, the dawn is breaking. The night is ending. The season of weariness is giving way to a season of renewal. The season of confusion is giving way to clarity. The season of fear is giving way to faith. The season of mourning is giving way to joy. The season of waiting is giving way to movement. And though challenges may still come, we will not face them as the same people, because your presence has changed us. Your voice has strengthened us. Your peace has anchored us. Your promises have renewed us. Tonight, we rise differently, we think differently, we believe differently, we walk differently, not because every problem has disappeared, but because our confidence is no longer in circumstances. Our confidence is in God, the God who never fails, the God who never abandons, the God who never changes, the God who always finishes what he starts. And so, Father, as this prayer comes to a close, we release every burden into your hands, every fear, every regret, every disappointment, every unanswered question. We leave them here at your feet, and we walk forward lighter, stronger, wiser, and filled with hope for the road ahead, for the purpose ahead, for the blessings ahead, for the testimony ahead. Because we believe that our best days are not behind us, they are before us. And when future generations hear our story, they will not only hear about the battles we faced, they will hear about the God who carried us through them. They will not only hear about the nights we cried, they will hear about the mornings you brought joy. They will not only hear about our struggles, they will hear about your faithfulness. And through it all, you will receive the glory, you will receive the honor, you will receive the praise, for you alone are worthy. Yesterday, today, and forever. In Jesus' mighty name, amen.